Hello again, everyone. It's Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It is Saturday at the convention. We're kind of winding down a little bit. It has been a very busy day. Tons of fans here today, mixing, mingling, hanging out with their favorite celebrities. I have the distinct pleasure of sitting here with Aaron himself from The Walking Dead, Mr. Ross Marquand. Ross, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm having a blast. Like I said to you, I'm just a fan who gets to do some cool stuff.
That's always fun.
So
right?
It's very cool to get.
That's how
to
I
sit
feel
here
about
with
me
you.
being like I was a fan of Marvel and a lot of this stuff before I got on it. So I feel the same way, man. It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I love asking this question. I've had the good fortune to speak to quite a few people from The Walking Dead.
Cool.
What is it like being part of something that has become such a part of our pop culture?
I don't think it has still fully sunk in after 8 years just how meaningful this show is to so many people. I mean, it's become this worldwide phenomenon. It was the highest rated cable show in basic cable history. Like, the accolades from the fans and from critics and just knowing that, like, when you meet people at these conventions, it means something. Like they came up and they're like, hey, my family and I watched this. I met someone today who said that, he watched the show with his father and his father passed on a little while ago. And it's just like the zeitgeist of the show is one thing, but just the personal connection that we have with the fans and just knowing that it means something to them, it's extraordinary. And I'm going to miss it. We just wrapped filming last Friday. Thursday night into late Friday.
Wow.
And it was, the cannon shot off with all this confetti, and we all kind of looked around and we were like, whoa, okay. This is it. We're done. And then it was a matter of packing up and saying, it was just wild. So, yeah. How you doing?
Officer Doofy.
Officer
He's
Doofy.
the best.
I cannot wait to meet him. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I get big Dave Sheridan fan. Yeah.
So I can't even comprehend what that's like when you know that it's the final wrap on something you've been involved with for 8 years.
Well, someone just put it into context. Talked to them a couple of days ago. They were like, that's like graduating high school and college, all in one fell swoop. It's like 8 years compressed. That's 20% of my life,
Wow.
That's a long time to be a part of a show. And, this show saved my life in so many ways. Like, I was broke as hell, like really badly broke, like over $100K in debt, doing medical studies to pay the bills, doing a lot of odd jobs to pay the bills, and things that I wish I never had to have done, So this show in many ways saved my life and offered so many other opportunities to work in other projects. So now that I'm unemployed essentially and away from that, it's going to be a weird adjustment, to readjust to society. It's kind of like being left out of prison. Not really, but I mean, I would imagine, when you work and so consistently on something, and you're like, your time belongs to the company, where you're going to go because they're going to tell you where you're going to go. And now it's like, oh shit, I guess I have free time now and I can do what I want to do during the week, and I don't have to worry about am I have to be able to shave my beard or all this stuff. It's new stuff that I had never had to consider before, and now I get to. It's a song by the Beatles called "You Never Give Me Your Money" on Abbey Road, and there's a line that I always come back to when I was thinking about the end of the show. And it says, "Out of college, money spent, see no future, pay no rent, all the money's gone, nowhere to go." And then he goes, "Oh, that magic feeling, nowhere to go, nowhere to go." And it's kind of like that magic feeling of I don't know what I'm going to do next. And that's both scary and also exciting,
Sure.
It's neat.
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
So that's quite a singing voice you have there. Are you going to do some karaoke later?
Get a few beers with me, maybe. Yeah, sorry, we'll see. Yeah.
So, Ross, you were talking a little bit about your background, and some things in your life that led up to the show. If I can ask, one, were you familiar with the comics? And two, how did you come into this role?
I was familiar with the comics, but I'd never read them. My buddy Doug, I remember having the compendiums on his bookshelf, and I never read them, even though I'm a huge comic book nerd from way back in the day. But I was mostly all into Marvel, so I never really delved into it. But as soon as I got the part, I auditioned for this show like 3 times, and this third time was the charm, and it took me about 3.5, 4 years of auditioning for the show for me to finally get on there. But as soon as I got the part, I talked to Scott Gimple, our showrunner, and said, "Hey, obviously this is based on the comics. Do you want me to borrow a lot of my interpretation of this from the comics?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Robert Kirkman did an amazing job of laying out this beautiful blueprint for us. So by all means, please borrow as much as you want from this." And I kind of tried to mirror or imbue as much of Aaron from the comics into the character as possible, while also making it my own, So.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Look, so it's funny. I did some interviews this weekend, and a couple of people mentioned that this misconception that and acting is still work. So I watch a lot of the physicality on the show, like you interacting with the walkers and stuff. How grueling is that sometimes?
Oh, with the walker? No, they're great. I mean, the walkers are all. I mean, the extras we have. Working in background, whether it's the walkers or without makeup. I mean, I have so much love and respect for them, because whether you're in the makeup or not, you're out there sweating your butts off. They're there probably longer than most of the actors are, and it's truly like incredible, especially when you have 2 or 3 hours of heavy makeup on, going out in the Georgia heat where you're covered in makeup and blood and ticks and these mosquitoes and these little no-see-ums and everything. I mean, they don't get enough respect, honestly. They don't get as much love as they should. And I just personal shout out to all of our background. Like, you guys are incredible, and they did a phenomenal job. So
fantastic. Yeah, that's cool. How so the prosthetic that you wear, and there's several of them. How
my favorite is the plunger one.
Oh, I love that.
The plunger one's my favorite. Yeah. It's useful, if you clog a toilet. I joked around with Greg Nicotero. I was like, why don't I get a Swiss Army attachment where it's like all kinds of shit on there? Like I could do anything with it. Like
dude, that'd be awesome.
Pizza cutter. I could have like a Edward Scissorhands type of thing. I don't know. We need to have a bunch of different things, but wearing it is kind of a bitch. Like the hand one, it's kind of like they made it to mold it after my exact specifications. I dipped it in the epoxy for like 2 or 3 hours, and then you put it on there, and it's like an eggshell crate. So you have to screw it on here, and then 3 on here, and then it's ratcheted up. So once it's in there, you keep it on, because it's a bitch to take on and off. And the mace arm, I kind of got to squeeze my hand up in like a kind of a weird like fist like this. And then put it in the thing, and then that's attached with a coupler, and again, very, very hard to take on and off. So I usually just keep it on all day.
Really?
Yeah, because I hate making the props department take it on and off just for my comfort. So I usually just keep it on there, and yeah. But it looks cool, but it is a pain in the butt. Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, from a fan standpoint, it's worth it. So in a recent episode where you just obliterate Walker's head with a punch, that was amazing.
Apparently, my mace can make heads explode.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that was the takeaway from that episode. Yeah.
All right, Ro, I don't want to keep you too long, but I do have one final question from your time on The Walking Dead. I'm sure there are a lot of them, but is there a particular on-set memory that sticks with you, like maybe a fun time or something that happened that you could share with us?
We've had a lot, but the time that, like, I don't know why I keep coming back to this, but it was just such a quintessential like Walking Dead moment. I remember Andrew Lincoln and I were shooting this lake sequence in season 7, I want to say, and it was an episode where he and I have to go out and try to scavenge for Negan and the Saviors, and we get ambushed by these walkers in the boat and everything, and we had a lot of rain delays off and on, and while we were waiting for our clothes to dry, we were up on top of the houseboat, both sitting in these lawn chairs, letting our clothes dry off because it needed to match. And we were talking about his family back in England, and how we have a mutual friend named Paul who we know from back in the day, and it was just this beautiful, peaceful setting with dead bodies floating all around us. And I was like, wow, what a weird show we work on, and that's for whatever reason. That just stuck with me the most, and I miss that guy like crazy. He was the best number one we could have had, and I haven't seen him for so long. It's like, because he lives over the pond now.
Right.
But we miss him like crazy, and he really was the best. He's the best, Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I personally am going to be sad to see it go. Obviously with streaming today and everything, things live forever.
Yep.
They're easy to see.
Yeah.
But knowing that there will be no more new episodes, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself on Sunday
You'll probably
night,
find something to do. There's Monopoly, there's Parcheesi.
Okay.
They got the spin-offs, so they got like 5 to 10 spin-offs coming in the next couple of years, I think. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to see other stuff. But I hope it lives on for a long time, We're hoping it'll be like the next Star Trek in that regard, So
yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I think it will.
Sure.
So yeah.
Ross, before I leave you, do you have any final messages you'd like to share with the horror fans out there?
Thank you for watching, and I said this a bunch on other podcasts and whatnot, but I really we would not have had 11 seasons if it weren't for you guys. So I can't believe it went on this long. I didn't think I was going to last this long. 8 years of my life is a pretty astonishing amount of time, and we couldn't have seen the character development from all these characters without the fans watching year after year. So just thank you for making the show what it is. I mean, truly, we would literally not be able to do any of this without the fans and their loyalty. So thank you, honestly. Yeah.
Fantastic. Ross, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you.
And sincerely, as a fan, thank you for all these years of entertainment with the show. I'm a big fan. My friends, we have watch parties, and everything. So thank you for bringing that to us.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure. Yeah.
Ross Marquand, everybody. Aaron from The Walking Dead here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. I am Todd Sturridge, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.